Up to. We have activist and lawyer Abha Singh who's joining us on the broadcast. Ms. Singh, thank you so much for joining us. What do you think today is going to be coming out of the Supreme Court? At least what are you expecting?
We are expecting that Supreme Court will cancel the bail given to Kuldeep Sengar, because there is a very famous dictum which says justice should not only be delivered, it should appear to be delivered. So this appearance part is not coming in the front, because the very fact that you've given him suspension of his punishment, in the sense he's been given bail, remission, as you call it in the legal parlance, that has sent a very wrong image to the society, to the world over, and that is why activists are on the road, people are protesting, because when he was given life imprisonment, and that life imprisonment was not only for rape, gang rape, but also murder of the victim's father. So all that together was a very heinous of the heinous offence, I would say, rarest of the rare offence. And what is important is, if he is out, he can influence the investigation, and the victim is right when she says she's worried about the life and safety of her children, and local police can be compromised because he was an MLA from that area and his party is the ruling party. So keeping all those figures and facts in mind, Supreme Court should cancel the bail.
Absolutely, because this particular case will have an impact on the second case that for which Sengar still remains in jail, and that is the custodial death / killing of the victim's father, of the survivor's father. So that also is something that her family seems to be really worried about, and rightfully so. If he can be a convicted felon who's not accused, he's convicted in the rape case, and he can be out and this entire life sentence can be suspended, anything can happen.
Of course, and you have to remember this, that if the High Court took the technical issue that MLA is not a public servant, but they should also know that there are innumerable court orders which say that procedures are the handmaid of justice. I mean, procedures cannot superimpose on justice, they are only there to assist justice. So you take that ground and think and leave everything away, saying he's not a public servant, he should not get life imprisonment and things like that. I think it is also would be a very important thing for Supreme Court to lay down the facts that technicality should not override justice, end result should be justice in everything. And so many court cases it is seen that judges are using these technical loopholes to give bail or to just set aside the case. So Supreme Court needs to look into this fact also.
In fact, CBI is basing their argument on the LK Advani corruption case, ma'am. How much of that will be giving that impetus to the CBI case that it deserves? Because right now, entire nation is watching what really comes out of the apex court, because a loose definition of public servant, and it has become a matter of convenience that if he's charged under corruption, then he's tried as a public servant, but not in a heinous crime like rape.
Exactly, you know, corruption is a different matter, but in criminal cases, you don't have any protection of parliamentary privileges or legislative assembly privileges. For offence under the criminal law, everybody is equal. That has to be kept in mind. And also, yes, the very fact that CBI has gone to Supreme Court, so this is a very good message which has gone to the country, that CBI also stands with the people of the country, with the activists, and CBI also feels that bail given by Delhi High Court was not in good sense.
All right, thank you so much, Ms. Singh, for joining us. Let me go back to my colleagues Arunima and Anshul, who continue to be with us on the broadcast. Arunima, we are now learning that the bench has assembled, and this particular case, this plea by the CBI, is going to be looked at. And this is the third case in a row that we are learning of, and this is the update that Ananya is bringing us from inside the courtroom.
Yes, the third and fourth matters will deal with the Unnao rape survivors case and the CBI's SLP against the Delhi High Court order. Mentioning is going on. Basically, mentioning is the legal process by which senior counsels come and mention orally cases that they feel should be taken up urgently. So as soon as this is over, in the next 10 minutes or so, we're expecting the Supreme Court to start taking up the SLP that the CBI has filed. We've already detailed what the CBI's line of argument is going to be. CBI is likely to to seek a stay on the Delhi High Court order, arguing that order by the Delhi High Court is not something which inspires confidence of the society. It's not based on a victim-centric approach, and therefore the Supreme Court must intervene. As far as definition of public servant is concerned, that could have been decided when you are going into the merits of the case. Basically, when you are deciding whether this is a case fit for acquittal or conviction, at that stage, these details could have been taken up, but you were only at the suspension of sentence stage, where usually you look at whether giving any relief to the accused could impact the witnesses, could impact or endanger the life and liberty of the survivor, whether the accused is a flight risk or not. Usually these are the parameters on which such relief is decided when bail or suspension of sentence is granted. By going into the merit of the case, was it required or not, is another contention that CBI could put up. What the survivor is expecting, and she's inside the courtroom as we are speaking along with her legal team, she's hopeful that the order today will be in her favor, where a stay will be granted on the Delhi High Court order, and then at a later date, when notice is issued to Kuldeep Sengar, further details, further arguments on definition of public servant, who's a public servant, who's not, all of that could be taken up at a later stage when Kuldeep Sengar replies to the notice. But today, as immediate relief, the survivor hopes for a stay on the Delhi High Court order.
Right, and Anshul, you were talking about the kind of protest that the nation is seeing in support of the survivor. More on that and the voices that you got when you were covering those protests.
Ma'am, yes, talking